Influence is something that is often talked about, not only during reviews, but also whenever you watch documentaries that speak about different bands, metal or otherwise, and just in the discussion process in general. Influence also provides a reference point for anybody who's potentially getting into an act. If they hear a band that they already recognize, or a voice that they already recognize and like, there's a good chance that they have a little bit of a better percentage potential of checking out the new group. Principally because there's a good chance that it's going to remind them of something that's already familiar and something that's already pleasurable to them. Whenever we speak about overall influence, however, whenever it comes to an entire genre of music, this is something that actually becomes a little bit more difficult. It's something that you actually have to file through a lot more names, not to mention find the ones that truly had the greatest impact on the development and the resurgence, in some cases, of some genres of music. For example, there's really been a blues resurgence as of recent because of names such as Gary Clark Jr. and Joe Bonamassa. In metal, however, there has been multiple resurgences after some lull periods. And really, those lull periods could be seen almost like as a sleeping giant motif, where the genre itself was actually doing rather well. It's just that many of the faces of today, well, back then, in the first part of the 1990s, were just getting their roots and basically starting their run as the most influential groups of tomorrow. But what are some of the biggest influential names of heavy metal? What are some of the people that without these groups, without these men, without these women, whatever it may be, metal just wouldn't be the same? Or the metal landscape would look entirely different. Who are the people that literally shaped this genre, not only from its beginning, from its inception, but also after it started to get its legs and was really starting to get a lot of mainstream appeal? Who's affected the genre the most because of the bands of today? You know, is it something from the 80s? Is it something from the 60s? Influence being so important. What's yours? Influence is something that we're going to be talking about with a trio of videos coming up here on the Cover Killer Nation channel. We're going to be talking about 30 of the most influential musicians, bands, and people to the heavy metal music genre. And this is going to include individuals from before heavy metal even existed to people that perhaps are a little bit more recent. Because, let's face it, influence is something that continues to grow, not to mention also continues to influence new bands later on down the line. However, what I want from you guys today, Nation, what I would really like, I would like to know two things. Firstly, who do you feel are some of the most influential groups? We all know some of the classics. We know of the Black Sabbaths. We're very aware. But who are some of your influences, perhaps as a musician or as a music fan? If you were to be a musician, who do you think you'd be the most influenced by? And who do you think are some of the most important, some of the most influential musicians, bands, men, women in heavy metal? Let me know.